Almost everyone has an amusement park they went to as a kid. For some, it's a small park with one or two coasters and lots of flat rides. For others, it's parks like Cedar Point or Six Flags. These are the stories of those parks and the times we had there. These are the Theme Park Files. Since its opening in 1972, Kings Island has been a staple of the theme park community. The park has appeared in multiple shows, such as The Brady Bunch and The Partridge Family, as well as offering a venue for Jimmy Buffett at the Timberwolf Amphitheater. With the addition of Mystic Timbers in 2017, Kings Island blog has coined it the wooden roller coaster capital of the world. This park, however, faced some resistance while trying to get operations off the ground.
I couldn't get him to budge on the idea, and I was kind of frustrated, and then push came to shove, and I decided to have a Coney Island Board of Directors meeting, and here I was again as a young man. I was going to have a showdown board meeting within the Coney Island Company about moving this park.
Before Kings Island opened, there was another amusement park in Cincinnati that was a popular destination for families. Coney Island, originally named Parker's Grove, opened as an apple orchard in 1867. James Parker, the owner at the time, realized the popularity of the land after being approached about renting the grove out for a picnic. After he began renting out the grove to visitors, later adding the addition of a bowling alley and a dining hall. In 1886, he sold the land to the Ohio Grove Corporation, who intended to use the park to encourage ridership on steamboats. This was similar to the trolley park model that Kennywood originally followed. The park was then renamed Ohio Grove, Coney Island of the West, in an attempt to tie the park with the already popular Coney Island in New York. The following year, the name changed again, and opened as Coney Island for the 1887 season. 2 years later, the company was sold to the Coney Island Company, who successfully ran the park until 1969, when it was sold to Taft Broadcasting, and then closed in 1971. Although Coney Island was loved by the community, the park was too small and offered little room for growth, as they had already developed all the land. In addition, the park was prone to flooding, which often left rides needing repairs or replaced. Upon the closure of Coney Island, many of the park's flat rides were moved to Kings Island for its opening in 1972. In addition to these flat rides, Kings Island opened with 2 new wooden coasters, as well as the Bavarian Beetle, a relocated steel coaster from Coney Island. The first of these wooden coasters was originally named Scooby-Doo. It was a kiddie coaster made by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company and was well received among guests. The name has been changed a few times since its opening, and now sports the Woodstock Express name since the park was bought by Cedar Fair in 2006. The second wooden roller coaster operational on opening day was the Racer. Also made by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company, this coaster is commonly referred to as the ride that brought coasters back to the mainstream. The Wachs family, who had previously operated Coney Island, also oversaw the construction of Kings Island and wanted to have a coaster that represented the old park. To achieve this classic feel, Gary Wachs and his father convinced veteran roller coaster designer John C. Allen to come out of retirement.
Can't wait to ride it because I like them wild and I build them wild and I like to see the people scream from the time they leave that top until they hit back on the brakes.
The simple out-and-back racing design became a huge hit among guests and was so successful that Taft Broadcasting decided to add virtually the same coaster to its next park, Kings Dominion, in 1974. The Racer is 88 feet tall and 3,415 feet long. It features a 45-degree drop as well as a top speed of 35 miles per hour. In 1982, in order to accommodate the mechanical problems of the original Bat, Kings Island turned around one of the trains on the Racers so guests could go through the course backwards. The coaster stayed this way until 2008 when the ride was reverted back to normal.
Kings Island dares you to come face to face with the Beast. The Beast. 7,400 feet of unrestrained terror. In a 70-mile-per-hour attack on your senses, the Beast throws you screaming through 3 tunnels, takes you higher than any other coaster. Come face to face with the Beast. The Beast. The biggest, baddest, longest, fastest coaster in the world.
In 1979, Kings Island unleashed its new record-breaking coaster, the Beast. This coaster, manufactured in-house and designed by Al Collins and Jeff Grimke, was no easy feat for the engineers. The two had to make all the calculations for the coaster by hand. However, they did receive help from Allen, who agreed to be a consultant for the ride after turning down the original opportunity to design it. The Beast takes advantage of the natural hills and cliffs of the park. This saved engineers money and allowed them to be more creative with the layout. Upon its opening, it held 5 records. It was the world's tallest wooden roller coaster at 110 feet and featured the longest drop on a wooden roller coaster at 141 feet. At the time, it was also the fastest wooden roller coaster, with a top speed of 64.8 miles per hour, though Kings Island often advertised it as 70. It features the longest track length on a wooden roller coaster at 7,359 feet, and that comes with the longest ride duration on a wooden roller coaster at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. The Beast still holds the records for both the longest length and ride duration of a wooden coaster. The park opened in 1992 after it was bought by Paramount Parks. With this, Paramount opted to use their movie licenses for themed attractions. Top Gun was an updated suspended aero coaster that was added in 1993. Unlike the Bat, the track had banked turns and did not suffer the same mechanical issues the original coaster did. The station was themed to look like an aircraft carrier, and the trains were meant to look like planes. The ride was renamed Flight Deck in 2008 after Cedar Fair bought the parks 2 years before. Then, in 2014, the coaster was renamed again to the Bat in honor of the original coaster. The color scheme of the ride was changed to match that of the original Bat, with orange track and black trains and supports. In 2007, after the closure of Geauga Lake, Cedar Fair relocated X-Flight to Kings Island and renamed it Firehawk. This Vekoma flying coaster featured a vertical loop as well as multiple lie-to-fly elements, where riders started on their back and were rolled to their stomach. Although the decision was made in 2018 to remove the coaster in favor of the Giga Coaster Orin coming next year, you can still experience this type of coaster on Batwing at Six Flags America, as it is identical to Firehawk's track layout. Cedar Fair also began construction for Diamondback, the park's first steel hypercoaster, in 2007. With a price tag of $20 million, this coaster was the first hypercoaster to feature a splashdown element. This left a stream of water off the back of the train, used for both visual effects and assisting in the braking. This simple out-and-back design features a 71-degree drop and a top speed of 80 miles per hour, making it the fastest coaster in the park. The newest coaster in the park was added in 2017. Mystic Timbers, designed by GCI, features a 98-foot swooping drop off its 108-foot lift hill. With a track length of 3,265 feet, this coaster allowed Kings Island to retake the title for the world's most wooden roller coaster track in any amusement park, totaling out to about 18,800 feet. The track features 16 airtime hills and a top speed of 53 miles per hour. At the end of the ride, the train enters a shed where riders will see one of 3 animations on a screen in front of them. There are many other great coasters at Kings Island that were not mentioned in this video, not because they aren't great or historic, but because with all the coasters in the park, this video would be very long. If we hit 20 likes on this video, I'll do a part 2 where I talk about the other parts of Kings Island, as well as the other coasters. If you have a coaster, ride, or park you would like me to talk about, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on the lift hill.